Hi, today is June 21st and I'm replacing the rotors on my truck. This rotor here has been turned. That's the old one from 10 years ago maybe. I don't know when that was. Last time I did rotors. Rotors have to be replaced a lot, all the time, because they warp. And you end up with a bunch of vibration when you're hitting your brakes, which causes damage to the suspension, to your brakes, everything. So the minute you start feeling that vibration, just go ahead and replace your rotors. You can have them turned for a little less price, but usually these things are only good for one turn, and then the mechanic won't do it any more than that. They have a dimension on the back of these. Let's see. Well, they say a dimension right in there. I can't really read it. I don't really care. I already know one time. That's all. I only turn them one time. So I got these two old ones. This one here is, I probably bought that new. Put that on there. So I'll check it. It's probably good to go on being turned. I just can't read that one. How about this one? Can I read this? It says 24.5 millimeter, which I don't have anything that measures at millimeter. But you just take it to the store, they'll measure it for you and go, no, we can't do it because it's too dangerous. Are you wearing your mask? It's too dangerous without a mask. Okay, so I'm going to do both sides. Where I'm at right now, I'm going to take this in and clean this in the sink. I got new seals for it, but I did not get new bearings. I'm just going to use the old bearings. Unless the bearings fall apart when I pull the thing apart, I'm not replacing bearings. So I'm doing a time lapse. Okay, I'm going to show you how to pull one of these apart. I don't know, there's some people out there who've never done this. They think, oh, it's too hard, I have to pay a mechanic $5 million a second. I don't know, maybe after watching this you won't feel like you got to pay $1 million a second. Typically when you hand your car over to a mechanic, you're not there. And typically what's going to happen... Okay, look. I have a 73 Mustang, and that thing's still on the road, and the reason why is because I don't take it to a mechanic. I've had it on the road for 30 years myself. I don't care if you make a million mistakes trying to do it. It's still better than taking it to a mechanic. Oh, the slow short one works great. It's coming right out. This is just pressed in. This is the cover for the bearings. Seals everything in, all the grease and everything. I'll just carefully take it out. I don't want to bash it. I don't like replacing them all the time. So I just try and save it. Grease stuff. Okay, what I'll do is I'll get sacrificial rags I'm going to be throwing out later. Like this rag. I'm going to be throwing this rag away. So I'm just going to clean up the old grease off of here. Get as much of it as you can out of there. Although this stuff still looks new. Typically your grease is still going to be new if you drive your car any amount of mileage over the years, because these rotors go bad pretty quick before that grease gets old. There's your cotter pin. You got to get that out. This is how I do it. With my cold chisel. I'll start out with pliers first. It's a thick cotter pin too. Just straighten it out. Throw that away. Take that out, set it aside. You don't want any damage to this thing. Just put it somewhere where you're not going to step on it. That's the lock for the nut. And what you want to do here is you want to take out this washer that's behind here. And take that out and set it aside. and bearing too. See, that bearing looks in great shape. The grease is not even black. It still looks like new grease. See that? It feels good. Nothing's cracked or broken, even when you drop it on the ground. Still just fine. So I won't be replacing that. It just simply doesn't have enough miles on it, that's all. So what I'd like to do, I'd like to, well, it's a little trick my auto shop teacher taught us to do, but I don't know. When you put that on there, you catch it onto the seal to pull it off. Because you got to pull the grease seal behind there. I don't know, I guess I'll try it today, see what happens. I'm already throwing away this rag. Yeah, it worked. See? That took out the grease seal on the bearing. I can keep it on this nut. I know this is a wide angle camera, so I got to get it up close. See? I cut it on the edge of the bearing right there. Pulled everything out. Throw this seal away. I don't even try reusing them. And can you believe the price of seals? It's $6 for one seal. I'm like, are you kidding me? My mind is still stuck in, 1985 budget, so whenever the prices go up, I do the old man thing, what? $6? Man, last time I bought one of those seals, it was 50 cents. Not really, but, so my pieces lined up. Okay, this is my new rotor going on. That's it. Clean the ABS. I just cleaned that. That's it. There's still a little grease in there. I don't care. I'm leaving it. So next thing to do is pack the bearing and put it in. Which rear bearing. This is my new seal. Rear bearing. Here's my seal installer. So you have to pound that seal in. And back in the 80s, I was working at a machine shop. Actually, I worked at a machine shop my whole life. And I found this. I said, oh man, you know what that would be good for? Pounding in seals. So that's what I'm going to do here today. That's what I'm going to use it for today. It's pounding a seal. Here's my bearing grease. I'll just pack it up. I would like to put a big blob in the center of it. Just a big blob of grease in there. I saw my auto teacher do that. I was like, okay, that's what I'll do. I'm going to put a big blob of grease in the middle. That's what I do every time. I see people pack these things dry and I always cringe. What are you doing putting that in there dry like that? You need lots of grease. Bearings need grease. Then you're trying to pound this in even, if you can. There, it's in. Gotta pack the bearing grease. I'm not gonna clean the rotor right now until it's on the car. You gotta get all that off of there. So let's put the rotor back on the car. Okay, next is the bearing. I gotta grease that. In your washer. And your nut. And get some big pliers. There we go. No. Yeah, it looks like I need a socket, really. You just singe that down until it binds up. You got binding, and you loosen it till you no longer have binding. It rolls freely. It's not free yet, it still feels tight. still too tight. Loosen it some more. Wow, it's really tight. Yeah, loosen a lot. Keep loosening. It's loose. It's got a loose play, so you don't want that. You don't want any play at all. So tighten it up again. There, it's perfect like that. And put this in, line it up to your cotter pin hole. See, it's not lined up to your cotter pin hole, so you just move it over one tooth until it lines up to your cotter pin hole. There, now it's lined up. And then you get a new cotter pin. And I have cotter pins here somewhere. Here they are. See, there's the big one. They got these at Harbor Freight for like, oh, I don't know, I think it's like $2 for a whole package of these things. All different sizes. I don't really need all those sizes, really. I only use the big ones up the most. Sometimes I'll need a suspension part, a cotter pin for doing suspension work, but that's not too often. See, there you go, like that. Of course, I want the cotter pin to be shorter than that, so I think what I'll do is I'll just cut it with a hacksaw because that's too long. Put you up here, looking down. Here we go, hacksaw. I didn't do that on tight enough. And I'll clean it. Whatever I got it. Flop it around here. Here's some carb cleaner. Okay, fine, whatever. Okay, cotter pin time. That ain't going nowhere. Now I gotta put dust cover back on. Now typically you could just pound them on, but I like to have something that goes around the edge of it. Well, this is close to what I got. This old pipe thing. Kind of better than just hitting it raw with the hammer. So these are the original rotors. I bought this car, 14,000 miles on it, so everything on it is pretty much original. It's not working really. Need a centerpiece for that. Maybe something I can put on there. About an itty bitty little piece of wood. Yeah, that's better. I think. Yeah, that's good. See, it's going on there nice and smooth. Nothing's getting damaged. There, see, that worked perfect for putting this dust cover on. That's on there perfect. Yeah. You're like going, where do I get that pipe? Well, you know, it helps to have it. I guess you can go to the hardware store or Home Depot if you want to go and buy it. Typically, I'm sure I got this one out of a trash can. I've had this stuff since the 80s. I've been doing this since the 80s, so that's what. My auto shop was in 1983, so that's when I was taking auto shop. And what auto shop does, you don't really learn a lot there. It just sort of gives you the confidence to start doing it. Because your whole life you're told, oh, you can't do this or you can't do that. Your parents are like, oh, no, Dad, no. Everybody's telling you, no, you can't do this or that. Now I don't listen to them. Just be dumb and go, I was too dumb to know I'm not supposed to do that, you know. This is carb cleaner here. And the back side. And uh-oh, make it loose. Okay. There you go. If you catch it early enough, your rotors won't have that ledge on there. You know, that ledge that keeps your brake caliper from going on and off. Yeah, I caught it early. Catch that shit early, dude. I think I'm running out of battery power now. I think it's going in, is it? No? Okay. That one's in. How about this one? There we go, I think that's it. I can't even see it, I'm just feeling. And I'll tighten it. This is a 15 millimeter. This is the only socket I have of 15 millimeter. I went through all my stuff. I don't have a wrench, nothing at 15 millimeter. So that's what I'm going to be looking for next time I go to swap meet is 15 millimeter sockets and wrenches. This is how I got this. I'm like, how can it be? I've been buying metric sockets and wrenches for years and I didn't get one 15 millimeter. It's a conspiracy against myself. And you just make it forward tight. I'm sure there's a torque specification for it. All my 40 years of driving and working on cars, I've never torqued bolts for a caliper. I just make them tight. There you go, done.